July 2021's Snake Eyes movie finally has a release date. Not only that, but we've got our first trailer, so let's talk about it. Fair warning that there may be an abundance of spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to get spoiled, add this to your watch later queue and come back at the end of July, after the movie comes out. Thanks for watching JLS Comics. If you do like the video, hit the like button and subscribe. Now let's jump into the video. Produced by Hasbro Studios, Allspark Pictures, and Paramount Studios, the film is directed by Robert Schwenke of Divergent series and Red fame. A while back, Schwenke spoke with Entertainment Weekly for an interview. "I've been a lifelong fan of Japanese cinema. It's my favorite national cinema," he told EW. He mentioned Shambara, Yakuza being influences that will influence this movie as well. In the same interview, he also said, "We're playing around with a lot of ideas that are very specifically Japanese and we're trying to get them right." On March 16th, during the evening's MTV Awards show, the first trailer dropped, revealing more about the film. And this came just after a series of stills were released by the studio. I previously reported on development of the film by following principal photography from Vancouver, Canada to Japan at the time when the cast and crew received a traditional blessing at an ancient, over 500-year-old shrine. At the world premiere, Henry Golding introduced the movie in the teaser trailer. And it's a brief trailer that opens with an insane motorcycle and car chase and a fight on top of the vehicles on the highway. And then we get a really great quote saying, "Every warrior has a beginning," which is a perfect summation of what this film is supposed to be. We get some beautiful set pieces full of traditional Japanese architecture and style, punched with amazing visuals and high-tech LED and rainlit fight scenes, as well as amazing action sequences and fight scenes, and a great standoff between Scarlet and the Baroness. Henry Golding, star of the movie Crazy Rich Asians, takes over the role of Snake Eyes from Ray Park. Stephen Ulrich of Westworld, Supernatural, and The Expanse fame is the father of Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes' father, ostensibly, is murdered by the Mafia, something that's been compared to the opening of 2021's Mortal Kombat. So now without a family or a home of his own, he ends up on the streets, fighting and working, taking on odd jobs, something like Rambo does. And he ends up saving the heir apparent of an ancient Japanese ninja clan who pulls him into the world, and also probably entices him with the promises of revenge against those who killed his father. So Snake Eyes ends up traveling to Japan, and he ends up training with the ninja clan. And there he meets up with his friend Thomas Arashikage, aka Storm Shadow, played by Warrior and the Innocents' Andrew Koji. He also meets Peter Mensa's Blind Master and Iko Ueyasu of Raid, Man of Tai Chi, and Wu Assassin's fame. He meets the character Hard Master. And he'll also be training with Haruka Abe's Akiko at the dojo. Takahiro Hira, whom you may know from Girl Kaji and Lost Girls and Love Hotels, is the, or shall we say one of the villains of the film. He's a guy named Kenta, and he's Storm Shadow's brother, who it's said is the one who tries to lure Snake Eyes away from their Arashikage clan into a new clan named the Kurayami clan, who are somehow involved with the Yakuza, as well as Cobra, which is likely how he runs into Ursula Corbero's Baroness. Kurayami, by the way, translates to darkness in English. So this puts Snake Eyes' allegiances and loyalties to the test. As secrets from his past are revealed, and will they have him leave? Will he become an assassin? Will he betray Storm Shadow? Will he betray the Masters, or will the Masters be killed, maybe by Zartan, and will he be set up for that? And somewhere along the lines, he'll also meet Samara Weaving Scarlet, whom we see in the trailer standing off against the Baroness, who's his lifelong love and partner, and very intimately tied to his backstory, as well as the interestingly named Hama. He's a character played by Simon Chin, who's known for roles in shows like Legion, Lucifer, Killing Eve, and the CW's Arrow. We don't know yet, but is Hama the Soft Master, or could he be Firefly, the Cobra Saboteur we know is from the Koga Ninja Clan, which is also a rival to the Arashikage. So despite the title, this movie is not really about Snake Eyes per se. This is very much a story about a guy on a path to become Snake Eyes. Though Henry Golding plays Snake Eyes, his version of Snake Eyes is clearly a deviation from the source material. This version of Snake Eyes is still very much Gaijin though, still an outsider, fighting to belong with his new family in the clan, fighting for a spot and for acceptance by a jealous Storm Shadow who thinks he's more worthy to be the heir than Snake Eyes is. Speaking of his looks and the fact that we see his face, Henry Golding did offer a soundbite during a press conference when he said, "Snake Eyes was always seen as a weapon, as an inanimate object. But when you see someone's eyes, you see their past, you see their future, you see their personality. So we throw it right back to the beginning to see how he progresses and develops into this most amazing character. And regardless of how closely Golding's Snake Eyes follows Hama's Snake Eyes, that's Larry Hama, it seems that the character will be treated with respect and honor. And while specific details might be changed about Snake Eyes, the principles of what makes Snake Eyes who he is seem to be intact. and for that I'm happy. But don't get me wrong, I want the Snake Eyes that I know from what I read and watched growing up. I get the non-blue-haired, blue eyes, fake eyes criticism, but honestly, I'm not really mad at the approach that I've seen so far. Much of Snake Eyes' early life was devoid of his helmeted and shrouded facade. He only began wearing the mask after the helicopter accident where he was trying to save Scarlet and his face was burned and his vocal cords were irreparably damaged. And this movie takes place before that. He's not Snake Eyes yet, and likely leads up to a climactic traumatic event, though I'm sure the details of that will be different as well because it doesn't seem like he's in the military, certainly not in Vietnam at this point. Which means that the mask will most likely end up as something akin to the Mandalorian's helmeted code from his Mudhorn Mandalore clan. Fine, but I don't want a Snake Eyes version of like a mouth sewn shut Wolverine Origins era Deadpool. I hope knowing this much about his past so soon doesn't detract from where Hasbro plans to take this iteration of Snake Eyes in the future. You know, one of the reasons I love Snake Eyes so much and that I was drawn to him as a young collector was that air of mystery and coolness around him. His silent, calculated lethality that bordered on poetry in motion. But at the same time, I get what Henry Golding was saying with his quote. And maybe that's the quote-unquote millennial approach. Back in 2017, during development phase, Simon Waters, Hasbro's senior VP of global brand licensing, spoke to the LA Times. He said that they wanted to take a more millennial approach. The world is changing, and I think you're going to see G.I. Joe changing with it, he said, and continued. It's going to be a much more contemporary approach to the whole franchise that will allow us to develop different characters. What that means is more action figures, more ensemble films, and more TV series like the upcoming Lady J show for Amazon, Paramount TV, and Carnival Row's Eric Olsen. Maybe that long gestating Chuckles project, or even maybe G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant. Hasbro's chief content officer Steve Davis also commented to the LA Times, and Davis added, "We hope to create a head snap. It's a different kind of Joe. One that still resonates with Joe fans, but brings in the uninitiated audience and expands the audience international and domestically." I suppose we can already see that intent realized in the trailer that we just got, where Snake Eyes' origin clearly is deviating from that which Larry Hama so poetically laid out at Marvel Comics back in the 1980s. That said, I'm wondering if that means targeting a specific audience or if it means, as Simon has also indicated, they plan to approach Hasbro's franchise portfolio much in the way that Marvel did with its Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm going to go with that, as the intent to bring Joe, Transformers, Mask, and others to life, and potentially even to cross over in one giant world. That's certainly been discussed, certainly been researched. We've talked about it before on the channel. It's one of the reasons that Allspark Pictures was fired up from the Cybertron kiln in the first place. Either way, it's an interesting place to be in for a decades-old franchise. You have to make the longtime fans happy, and yet you also have to appeal to a newer audience at the same time if you want the brand to continue to grow and flourish in the future. New fans today could be the 80s nostalgia fans of tomorrow when we're too old to run to Target to look for Cobra Island boxes that aren't there. Henry Golding also spoke to a website called Den of Geeks back in January. And he told them that the film is grounded in reality and physical stunts, and not a big CGI movie. In fact, Kenji Tanigaki, whose mentor was Donnie Yen, who was also the stunt coordinator from the Rurouni Kenshin series, along with films like Blade 2, worked on this film. It'll be those same types of movies and traditional katana fighting, is how Golding described it, and I love that approach. Allspark, by the way, were attached to 2018's Bumblebee, an origin story for the Transformers franchise, another movie intended to reboot a franchise. And Allspark is also attached to 2023's Dungeons & Dragons movie by director John Francis Daley. August 2009's G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra grossed $302.4 million worldwide on a $175 million budget, and March 23's G.I. Joe Retaliation grossed $375.7 million worldwide on a smaller $130 million budget. And due to the global pandemic, Snake Eyes' release date was moved all around from March 2020 to October 2021 and then back up to its current date of July 23, 2021, which is a month packed with films like Space Jam 2, Black Widow, and Jungle Cruise. So we'll have to see how it does amidst the plethora of upcoming summer blockbusters in an environment where people are slowly coming out of hiding, feeling more comfortable outside, around people, than around maskless people. To be fair, the movie doesn't have to be a smashing success, doesn't have to gross $1 billion like Marvel and other studios. It needs to do well enough to sell quantities of merchandise. That's where the big money is. That's where I'm going to keep running out to Target and looking at those empty pegs. In the words of Henry Golding himself, this, I think, will be the launch of a brand new franchise. And when filming Wrapped, he said, "Thank you for the dedication. The film is going to blow everyone's socks off." And I hope it does. I'm going to wear socks to the theater just to test that theory. And I hope to be happy with this when Snake Eyes cuts into the box office with his morning light katana. But now I want to hear what you think. Sound off in the comments below, respectfully to each other please, and we'll continue the conversation there. For now, that's a wrap on this one, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and you'll be one of the first to know when I upload videos just like this each and every week. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.